So, what has our favourite Chinese multi-hyphenate lightning rod been up to this week? Find out on the Wang Yibo Weekly. So I should apologise for all this, but I'm not going to. It's just one of those days, and this is what we have. So let's just run with it, okay? This week started off incredibly quiet. There were a number of days that basically there was nothing happening, no new materials. A few bits and pieces got released, more backstage stuff from different sources of the Spring Festival Gala performance, but really it was crickets. And then on China time Friday night, Saturday, everything just went bananas. Mostly the story is about people going, cuckoo bananas around Wang Yibo, not about anything that he did himself, but his name was all over the hot searches for days. So let's have a little story time. Some of it is brand related, so I'm actually going to do that part of it when we get to brand stuff. But the biggest thing that happened was that some joker managed to get hold of Wang Yibo's old phone number. For those of people who've been around for a while, you will recall that at some point Yibo had to change his phone number because somebody got a hold of it and it was publicized and he was getting all sorts of terrible things happen. This is back in 2019. So somebody, now I don't know whether they just randomly got the number or they went out of their way to get the number, but they registered the number that had been Wang Yibo's number back in 2019 before he changed phone numbers. And just then decided to just go all in, and this person registered social media accounts associated with that phone number. And a lot of stuff in China, you have to have a local phone number to register. That's kind of like their base level ID system. And so registered a whole bunch of stuff against this phone number, and then started producing materials purporting to be Wang Yibo. And then took screen captures of a whole bunch of stuff and then started pushing it out. And it wasn't just one thing, there was a whole raft of stuff came out purporting to be chat logs from Wang Yibo's phone, and purchase histories and all sorts. There was Yibo, the Yibo in these chat logs was dating this girl who he was rumored to be linked with, back in the day. She was sort of on the fringes of the entertainment scene, was a rich heiress, was a socialite. And there's all sorts of stories about her. She hasn't, years past, she's left China, and as far as I know, is living happily and quietly overseas on daddy's money. And and she got all dragged up into this as well. So yeah, anyway, that happened, and lots of stuff with Yibo apparently, seemingly saying all these nasty things about other celebrities. And anyway, it was just all over the hot searches. It became quickly apparent that it wasn't Wang Yibo. my understanding is that there were details in the stuff that was released that made it clear that this was fabricated anyway, and led back to the person who actually did it. But of course, once that stuff's out in the wilds, there are people who want to believe bad things about people. And so it got a huge amount of traction. People were like spreading it as if it was real, or at least as if, like they were enjoying spreading all these rumors, all this stuff based on this fabrication. And so on Saturday, my understanding is the stuff dropped on Friday night, China time. On Saturday, Yuhua Entertainment, Yibo's management company, made a statement, and Yibo official repeated the statement, basically saying it was all fake, and that it had been put into the hands of the lawyers, and there would be, legal consequences for people spreading the rumors. This did not end. It just kept ballooning. People were just losing their minds. Most of the posts that I saw were not people who thought it was real, but a lot of people were just like, joining in on the, digging out the details of this supposed Yibo, stuff that he'd bought. And because, as I said, there was purchase history, and like there were a lot of posts about the stuff that he supposedly bought, because people thought it was hilarious. A lot of people thought it was hilarious that there was this sort of like a really strange combination of things, and like people were like, I saw a number of posts saying, this is a poor person's fantasy about what being rich would be like. So yeah, that was like all over the hot searches, with as I said, other things as well going on at the same time. He was just all over the hot search list. So that is like nothing to do with Wang Yibo, except like he's in the public eye again for bad reasons, and there's legal actions. On March 1st, the lawyers made a public announcement that they'd filed suits against 3 accounts, because it's all sort of goes through, it's all the stuff happening on social media. In China, you file something with the court, and then the court will make will require the social media platform to actually give the identifying information of the account holder, and then that person can be named like for legal purposes, but there's this intermediary step. And so yes, on March 1st, the lawyer said, we're asking for the personal information of these 3 so that these files can be, this suit can be filed. It's not like, I don't think it's criminal charges. I think it's like suing. And then the fandom was not happy about that, because they thought that was like 2 days late, and it should have already happened. And why only 3 people when there were all these accounts that were like forwarding the rumors and stuff. And Yibo fans as a group are never going to be happy about any of this sort of stuff. So it's like it's just expected that they were losing their minds, but they were totally losing their minds. So yeah. At the same time, a couple of days later, I'll get on to other things, but we're just going on like social media crash outs. There was a woman, like a D-list actress, Li Yun Tong or something her name is. I may be remembering that wrong. She was going on a kind of, she was like really angry at her boyfriend, who is a slightly higher up the chain entertainment person, ex-boyfriend, I think, at this point, and was like posting all this stuff about him, like exposing stuff, which is a thing that happens on the Chinese internet all the time. But then halfway through her kind of like crash out, she obviously decided, look, she posted and said, I think it was, my construction of events is that she just wanted more attention. She wanted more attention, more eyes on what she was doing, which was like trying to ruin this guy. And she posted saying, so does anybody want Wang Yibo's autograph? Because my best friend used to be his manager. I can get you an autograph. So again, it's like, it's nothing to do with Wang Yibo as a person. It's just somebody using his name. And so suddenly that like possibility that somebody had an in to get an autograph made this whole thing blow up. And when I got to it several hours late, I'm always late to the party on these things. When I got to it and found like she'd already deleted that particular post, all the rest of the stuff about her boyfriend was still there, but the one that had like trended was gone. So I don't even know if what her claim was true, that there was some sort of connection and there was an autograph to be had. But yeah, apparently she got what she wanted, I think, in terms of like attention to her story. Anyway, let's leave social media crash outs to the side for a moment and talk about a few other things that happened this week. Also on the 1st of March, Racing released a second package of edited and whatever put together highlights of the Shanghai 8-hour race that Yibo took part in last year. It seems as though they're gearing up for the new season, new racing season. There hasn't been any official announcement that Yibo is going to be racing. As I noted last time, Eversu is no longer a sponsor, and Eversu was the leading sponsor last year of his racing campaign. So there's no confirmed news that Wang Yibo is going to be racing again, but the fan groups, and I've seen two distinct different fan groups organising stuff to get to like have meetups at different racetrack meetings in April. So although nothing's official, there is obviously a high level of expectation that there will be more racing, and there will be more racing soon. So Racing actually put up, they have a YouTube channel, and they put up their package not just on Chinese internet but also on YouTube. So you can look around for that. I've got a link to that below. Everything else that I've got is basically from yesterday. A whole bunch of stuff happened yesterday. It was Lantern Festival, so that's the end of the Spring Festival, 15 days. It's the last day. And Yibo Official put out a new photo shoot and some video of the shoot in progress. The outfit that he was wearing in the shoot is a Lacoste green women's suit. And not just the normal sort of like fan retweeters, but a whole bunch of like fashion sites actually reposted that. And one reliable account that I follow, who does not just Yibo but like all of the fashion magazines, reposted it and said that it was a Lacoste promotion, and that it was the beginning of some work that he was doing for Lacoste that was going to take him to Paris Fashion Week. So subsequently, Lacoste posted with those photos, so that part's true. I've seen whispers, and in fact, just this morning, I went on and looked this morning, which I'm not supposed to do. I'm not supposed to allow myself to go on Weibo before I film this on a Wednesday because I get sucked in. Just today, there's a hashtag going around saying that he's going to be in Paris for all three brands, for Chanel, Lacoste, and Loewe. But we'll wait and see. Nothing, as far as I know, officially announced. But I am expecting that that's going to be the case, and it's really just in the next couple of days. One of the shows is Friday. It's Friday, Saturday, and then I think Monday are the dates of those three shows. So if he's going, he's going to be going very shortly. And just finally, Born to Fly, Yibo's Air Forcey kind of movie, that got a run on CCTV yesterday again. And Yibo yesterday posted in support of a a Communist Party short film that's been produced in association with the new 5-year plan, and it's called the China Spirit, or Chinese Spirit. Yeah, it wasn't just Yibo. A whole bunch of celebrities reposted the link to the film. It was the thing to do yesterday for the party faithful, and Yibo joined in. That is the news, and now it's time for brand stuff. Okay, normally I just come in here and talk about pretty pictures, but today is not that day. So the big brand story of the week is Coty Coffee. And it's not a great story, but it is what it is. So it turns out Coty Coffee's collaboration with Yibo finished in December. That was confirmed during the week after some of the things that went on. Which means that all of the Wang Yibo materials in the Coty Coffee locations were no longer necessary. And it turns out that a few individuals at a couple of places decided to have a little bit of less exciting fun with them. So one of the things that a number of the stores had were full-size standees of Wang Yibo, and at least one person decided to decapitate their Wang Yibo and film it. There were a number of different videos like this started circulating last week, and I don't know why they came out last week when the collaboration finished, at the end of last year. But it did, and it all came to a head on the same day that the stuff was coming out about the chat logs. So Coty Coffee, actually, the fans were just outraged. The fandom, there was this day that they did not know what to do, what to be angriest about. Coty Coffee came out really, really quickly and made a formal apology to Wang Yibo, and said that the people who had been involved in the incidents had the shops that they had worked at were no longer Coty Coffee locations, and that they would be reviewing their policies. It also said a whole bunch of really nice things about Wang Yibo. So for once, I think basically everybody, the fandom, thought that Coty Coffee had had managed that situation. It was a very quick response. It was very thorough. So that happened, but like it was still all over the place because the fans were still so angry about the thing that had happened. So yeah, that was Saturday. Came out later in the week that 3 more brands had been sued on Wang Yibo's behalf for using his image in promotional materials without permission. This is kind of a like ongoing problem. Lots of smaller places just like pick pictures of famous celebrities and whack it on their goods. There has been, like, in the fan circles that I read their posts, I mean, I don't read everything. There's no way you can read everything, but there is apparently a, like, you know, bubble tea place that haven't actually been putting his picture on their ads, but they have a promotion whereby they produce stickers on request, Wang Yibo stickers on request that they'll stick onto your drink for you if you buy from them and make the request. So I don't know if they were one of the people sued, but I think that there's a lot of this going on, and that was another thing that happened this week. Beyond that horrible stuff, we've got a nice story to transition out of that then, but it's still a story. So during the week, a video did the rounds that was just like a random person had done, and they posted about the fact that their mum had rung them to say they had to come home because Wang Yibo was making the dumplings. And then there was this video of this woman had rolled out pastry or dough and was using a Super X, like a bottle which had a circular base to cut out the dumpling wrappers. And there were a lot of people thought this was extremely cute, and there were a bunch of, you know, funny comments to the effect that, you know, this is as close as you'd want Wang Yibo to get to the cooking. And then a couple of days later, Super X actually responded, and they with a number of memes of little things of Wang Yibo making dumplings, and yeah, it was very cute. Yeah, so that was a fun brand thing that happened during the week. And then, of course, there was Lantern Festival yesterday, and a whole bunch of brands put out photo edits. And Jeans West went above and beyond and put out a very gorgeous little piece of video, which I think largely was bits of Yibo from previous stuff edited together with some Lantern Festival appropriate sort of imagery that he wasn't actually in. But the whole piece is beautiful, lovely soundtrack, nice work. Again, Jeans West. I am looking forward to seeing Yibo in Paris and some amazing outfits. Hopefully that's going to happen in the next few days. That'll be fun. And I guess we should go out and have a look at the photo shoot that Yibo did for Lantern Festival in the lovely green Lacoste outfit. I hope you're all well, and I hope you have a wonderful Wang Yibo Wednesday.